Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 15.5. So yesterday Apple just released the second beta of iOS 15.5 and of course bringing us a step closer to the final release of this update, which in my opinion is one of the most important updates to iOS 15. And I will show you guys why in a few minutes here, but first of all let's take a look at the new beta, see all the new features and changes that this beta has brought to iOS 15.5, and of course then we're going to talk more in general about this update and why this is really important for a lot of iOS users. Now another really important thing is that you subscribe to the channel. Most of you guys that watch my videos are currently not subscribed, so please take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So iOS 15.5, as I said, got the new beta yesterday, beta 2, and it comes at around 500 to 600 megabytes. That is of course always based on different devices, will have different size updates, and of course based on which beta you have or which software you have currently installed on your device. If you're updating from beta 1, you will get this smaller update, but if you're updating from iOS 15.4 or 15.4.1, of course you will get a much bigger update. Now the build number to iOS 15.5 beta 2 is 19F5057E. Now the E right there indicates that we will most likely have probably another 3 betas and then of course the RC version before we get this update getting released to the public, which is a really important update. As I said, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes here, but first of all let's take a look at some of the new features that you will find on iOS 15.5 beta 2. First of all, we're taking a look at the weather app. We have a change here on the weather app. When you go to your location, you won't actually see this on any of the other cities that you have added on the list of your cities on the weather app. You see this only for your location. Report an issue. This has been redesigned right here. It's much more prominent. It used to be something like this button right here that says open in maps. Now it's much bigger here, and of course if you tap on see more, you will have the ability to improve weather app by describing the current weather condition on your location. So if you see that the weather conditions on your location are currently not that accurate, you can of course go ahead and report from here. So basically that place right here, that like button has been redesigned on iOS 15.5 beta 2. Moving on to the Safari app, if you go on Safari on any web page, you know that you can search for stuff within that web page. You can do that by tapping the share button right here, and you will find a button that says find on page right here. Now this has been redesigned. It used to be like just a loop right there. Now it's like a web page with a smaller loop, and it looks much better in my opinion. Another new feature with iOS 15.5, if you're using News Plus, then when you go to the Stocks app, and of course you will have all the news right here. When you tap the 3 dots on any of the news, again if you're a subscriber to News Plus, you will get a button right here to play later on the News app. So just right here underneath share story, you can go ahead and tap right there and listen to that later on the News app. And there are also more new features that have been found on the code of iOS 15.5. Again, thanks to Steve Moser on Twitter. I will leave his Twitter linked right down below in the description of the video. He always does an amazing job on finding this stuff on the iOS code. First of all, we have here a new image for the Apple Card balance, and of course this is the rebrand of iTunes Pass. Basically this will allow you to pay with your iPhone on the Apple Store, shop online, or buy apps, subscriptions, or services. This is the new rebranded iTunes Pass, and this is the new image that has been found on the code of iOS 15.5 for the Apple account balance. Another feature that has been found on the code of iOS 15.5 beta 2, Apple will now automatically make iTunes content you download available on your library tab on the Music app, as well as on the Apple TV and Apple Books, and that's really great. Again, this is not a feature that has yet been enabled, but it has been found on the code of iOS 15.5 beta 2. Now alongside that, Apple is also working on Bankomat card support. That has been found again by Steve Moser on the code of iOS 15.5. Now, alongside with these new features and changes that have been found on iOS 15.5, there are a few really important fixes as well. First of all, if you head onto your control center and you use music recognition, which basically is Shazam that Apple has now included within iOS, when you 3D touch here, you will be able to see the history of the songs that you have found using Shazam or music recognition, whatever you want to call it. But this was broken. Actually, you didn't see the history here at all. But now with iOS 15.5 Beta 2, this has been fixed. And what's really great is that even though before it didn't show the history of the songs you found with music recognition, now when you go to this part right here, you will see the previous history. These are all songs that I found before this was broken, and now they're back here, and that's really great. Another really important fix, when you go to Safari, let's just go here to the front page. So right here you can see I have my favorites and I have my frequently visited website right there at the top. This was broken as well. Now this of course can be disabled. If you don't have that, you go to edit and you have frequently visited websites right there. You enable or disable this. If you have this enabled with iOS 15.5 Beta 1, you won't actually see the websites right there, but now it has been fixed and it's back on the front page of Safari. So as I said at the beginning of the video, and as you can see from the title, in my opinion, this is one of the most important updates to iOS 15.5. I know this is not the update that has the most new features, the most exciting features, but it's really interesting and really important for a lot of people. First of all, it's fixing a lot of bugs, even though there are some bugs that are still here, like the one for the storage. It still doesn't work as it should. You go to iPhone storage right here, you will still have to wait for a few minutes sometimes to load the storage here, but some really important bugs have been fixed, and of course we have a few new features which are actually good. But why this is so important? This is important because this will be the last big update for iOS 15.5, because we have iOS 16 Beta 1 coming out really soon. But this will be the last ever update to iOS 15, the last big ever update to iOS 15 for a lot of users that have older devices. If you have the iPhone SE, the original one, or the iPhone 6s or the 6s Plus, then you won't be getting any update in the future. This will be, of course, the end for those devices. You will probably get smaller updates, iOS 15.5.1, 15.5.2, but you won't be getting any new features on your iOS device because iOS 16 will not support those older devices. So this is really important, and I'm really glad that Apple is actually doing quite a good job polishing iOS 15 with iOS 15.5. And when it comes out to the public, it should be really good, and hopefully it will be smooth for those older devices that won't be updated in the future. As I said at the beginning, this update will see a few more betas before it goes to the RC version and then the public release. So what I would expect Apple to do from now on, they will probably release a new beta every week for iOS 15.5. So right here, we're on April 20th, and I expect Apple next week to release probably on Tuesday a new beta. This will be beta 3, then probably beta 4 right here on the 3rd, and we can expect even them to release another beta like beta 5 on the 10th, or maybe they will skip the other week as well, and then from that on go ahead and release a new beta every week. So we can expect iOS 15.5 to have 4 or 5 betas. Then I would expect Apple to release the RC version somewhere around May 17th right here, and most likely the public release of iOS 15.5 should be towards the end of the May. That will most likely be right here, the 23rd or the 24th of May. These are the two dates that I'm expecting Apple to release iOS 15.5 to the public. So as you can see, we will most likely have to wait another month before we get iOS 15.5 released to the public. During that time, most likely we will have another update which would be iOS 15.4.2. Now I would expect Apple to release that pretty soon. Maybe as soon as next week we will see that update getting out to the public, of course, to fix different bugs and bring new security patches to iOS 15. So don't be surprised if you get a new update on your device as soon as next week. Most likely it should be like on Monday or maybe Tuesday, so that will be April 24th or 26th, and that might be the last smaller update to iOS 15.4 before we get iOS 15.5 released to the public. And last but not least, after releasing iOS 15.5 to the public, which as I said should probably be on May 23rd or 24th, from now on we're moving to iOS 16 beta, so you don't expect to see any major update to iOS 15 anymore. So if you haven't heard already, probably have iOS 16 beta 1 will be released on June 6th. That will be at WWDC 2022, which of course has now been announced. It will start at around 10 a.m. Pacific time, and then an hour and a half probably will be how long it will be, and then of course we will see the beta getting released to the devs probably 30 to 40 minutes after the event. And then of course 3 to 4 weeks after that you should get a public beta version of iOS 16. So if you just want to try it out on your device, you probably will be able to do that in 3 to 4 weeks after the release of the first beta to the devs. So that's about it for this video, guys. As a conclusion, iOS 15.5 is an update that I believe to be really small, but it turns out it has some nice features, and of course, as I said, will be really important, as for a lot of people that have older devices, this will be their last big update to iOS 15. Of course, they will get smaller updates, security patches and fixes in the future, but not new features for their iOS 15 device. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and of course subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you guys on the next one.